The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. I am getting better. Those who are sending me super thanks, I say thank you so much. I appreciate you for the love you are showing to me. And those who are wishing me well too, I say thank you. Africa, we have everything. We provide the world with everything, yet we are always excluded when it comes to decision making. South Africa G20. This is the first time Africa is hosting this G20, and it's a historic, and we are hoping that at least our voices will be heard. But there's a powerful message that they gave to us, how we are always absent when it comes to global whatever, yet we are the ones that are providing everything to the world. This is the challenge. Just like the UN Security Council, that we are members, yet when it comes to whatever, we are not part of it. And they are even telling us that when they give us veto power, it will make the council dysfunctional. Yet they can come to Africa and use our resources for everything. That doesn't make council dysfunctional. So it is time for us as Africans to also fight for a better representation in this world, because we cannot continue to be left out when it comes to global decision making. Africa, looking at our population, the resources that we have, and we are the youngest growing in the world when it comes to population. Yet when it comes to things that has to do with the world, we are always exempted. Ours is just to go there, we are matter, add up to the number, and this is what has been happening to us for all these years and decades.
When we achieve peace and political stability, we as Africans are better positioned to secure sustainable financing, debt relief, fairer trade, and stronger representation in economic governance, thereby advancing both sustainable development goals and the Agenda 2063.
Excellency, let me start by recognizing the Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, the Mayor, the UN Assistant Secretary General and Director of UNDP Regional Bureau, the G20 co-convener, Your Excellencies, distinguished delegate representatives of civil society across the globe, and also all civil society organization leaders, including the ECOSOC presiding officer, brothers and sisters. It is with profound honor and deep sense of historic responsibility that I stand before you today, speaking on behalf of the 1.8 billion Africans, both from the continent and the diaspora. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you warm greetings from the Economic, Social, and Cultural Council of the African Union, the voice of the African civil society within the continental governance architecture, representing the aspirations, struggles, and triumphs of grassroots communities across our 55 member states and the diaspora. We are gathered here today at a historic juncture of global governance, which we are about to shape together through the G20 Social Summit Declaration that will emerge from our gathering here. Let me begin by expressing my profound gratitude to the Republic of South Africa for its visionary leadership in hosting this G20 Social Summit under the transformative theme of solidarity, equality, and sustainability. Africa's G20 Summit is a statement to the world that we are no longer content to be observers of our own destiny, but we are builders of a new global order. Excellencies, let us speak candidly. The current architecture of global governance was constructed in an era where Africa was left aside. The institutions that purport to govern our collective future were designed in the aftermath of conflicts we did not initiate, in rooms where our voice were absent, and according to principles that often contradict our lived realities. This results into a world order that perpetuates rather than rectify historical injustice. Consider these stark realities below. Africa holds 30% of the world's mineral reserves, possesses 60% of the world's arable land, and is home to the youngest population on earth, and yet we remain on the periphery of global economic decision-making. Our continent contributes less than 4% of global greenhouse emission, yet we bear catastrophic brunt of climate change. We possess the resources that power the digital revolution, yet we are positioned as consumers rather than creators of technological future. This is not a call for charity or concession. This is a demand for justice. This is an insistence that the global order must be reimagined, reconstructed and rebuilt on foundation of genuine equity, mutual respect and shared prosperity. The old paradigm of development assistance predicated on dependency must give way to partnership rooted in dignity and reciprocity. The time has come of Africa transition from being a subject of global policy to being the principal author of it. For far too long, decisions affecting our people, our resources, and our futures have been made in capitals far from our shores. For far too long, we have been reactive and responding to crises manufactured elsewhere, adapting to frameworks imposed upon us, accepting narratives written about us rather than by us. Through Agenda 2063, the African continent, a free trade area, and the forthcoming decade of African reparation, we are charting a course towards self-determination. Distinguished participants, if this new world order is to be legitimized, it must be built with the active participation of civil society. Government alone cannot engineer the transformation. We seek the private sector. We know you cannot alone guarantee equity. International institutions alone cannot guarantee accountability. It is the civil society that provides the moral compass and the grassroots legitimacy essential for sustainable change. ECOSOC stands as the institutional bridge between the aspiration of the grassroots communities and the policy corridors of the African Union. In the context of this G20 social summit, civil society brings what formal institutions often lack: proximity to reality. When we discuss food security, we bring the perspective of smallholder farmers facing drought. When we debate digital transformation, we amplify the concerns of communities lacking basic connectivity. When we deliberate on social protection, we carry the stories of informal workers without safety net. Our participation is not a courtesy, it is a necessity. As we embark on these 3 days of deliberation, I call upon all stakeholders present to approach this summit with the seriousness it deserves. It is our earnest appeal to the G20 member states. We need to recognize that Africa's participation through South Africa is not a favor extended to us, but a necessity for your own legitimacy. A G20 without meaningful African engagement is incomplete and ultimately ineffective. Our challenges are global challenges. Our solutions are global solutions. Excellencies, distinguished guests, we stand at a crossroad. One path leads to the perpetuation of an inequitable global order where Africa remains marginalized despite its centrality to global prosperity. The other path leads to a restructured international system where solidarity is not a rhetoric, but a practice, where equality is not aspiration, but reality, where sustainability is not a slogan, but a standard. Let this G20 Social Summit be remembered for its impact on the ordinary African citizen. Yours in solidarity, I thank you.
Because of Africa, our G20 presidency embraces the Afrocentric leadership model that highlights inclusivity, participation, and consultation. Through this model, we value inclusivity, harmony, and interconnectedness while focusing on creating a lively and energetic representation of shared aspirations of a united Africa. In the same spirit of communal responsibility, solidarity, engagement, and consultation, South Africa initiated an inclusive national dialogue, a people-driven, society-widespread to reflect, reset, and reimagine South Africa's future. Through the national dialogue, the aim is to collectively address significant challenges facing the country, such as poverty, inequality, and social divisions. This process began with the first national convention, which we held in August of this year, where an agenda for nationwide public dialogues was set. Ultimately, this initiative is expected to culminate in a second national convention, which we will hold next year, June in 2026, at a social compact outlining directives for the next 30 years, to come. Therefore, program directors, this moment is crucial for South Africa, symbolizing not only its national objective, but also the aspiration of the African continent, as outlined in Agenda 2063, the African Union Strategic Framework and Action Plan to transform Africa into an integrated, prosperous, and peaceful continent. The African Union's membership in the G20 is pivotal for implying African perspective within the global economic financial landscape. Our goal, program directors, is to integrate African voices into global governance, striving for a more equitable, sustainable future consistent with the vision of the AU Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. This G20 Social Summit therefore provides us with an unprecedented opportunity to highlight the African agenda and the concerns of the global South inside the world's most platform for international economic agenda and cooperation. Your Excellencies, despite its vast potential, Africa remains underdeveloped, with many communities still striving and living in poverty and enduring ongoing displacements due to recurring political, economic, environmental, and security challenges. We believe it is time for Africa to advocate for lasting peace, commitment to resolving conflicts through negotiated political settlements.
Anything that they try to do in Africa or include us, you should know that this thing is benefiting them and not us, because there's rumors that they are doing this thing because of BRICS. They want to prevent Africa from joining BRICS. So they are trying to give us this shadow membership. For all these years, these people are not thinking about adding Africa to the G7. Yet we always go there every year. Now people are even claiming that if they are going to host it in Africa, they are not coming. Truly, they never came. But we are also excited that we have leaders who are bold enough to tell them that we don't even need them. So even if they don't come to Africa to take part in whatever in the G7, G7 will still go on without them. So the way these people look down upon us is we, the Africans, that are allowing these people to continue to do what they are doing to us. So we need to rise up and fight against it. And it will be from our leaders, because they are the ones that are in front. And always they make sure that they do things that will please these people and not things that will change the narrative in Africa, unlike Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. So until we get leaders who are bold enough to fight the battle for the African will continue to be suffering. because these leaders are ready to be puppets, fight for their masters instead of fighting for we the Africans. So it is high time we the youth in Africa, we fight for a better Africa, because the future of Africa lies in our hands and not with this our old men, because they will always do things that will please these people. We saw what Cyril Ramaphosa said before he met with Trump, and the moment he got in the presence of Trump, everything changed. When these are leaders in the democratic elected put something out there in speech, we don't have to obey or take it serious, because they always speak and they don't act. And Africans, we have had enough of the speech. We are tired, because speech don't change anything. Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso, we are seeing all the things that they are doing to these people because they've decided to move away from them. These are the people that are keeping Africa backwards with all the things that they've kept in place. So it is our responsibility to move away from these people if truly Africa we want to go forward. Because everything the West did to us is never to help us move forward. And everything they are giving to us is never to help us move forward, because from the time we have met them, we haven't seen a change in Africa rather than moving backwards. So we can't continue to be following the same people that are only thinking about how to make something out of us and not how to also help us move forward. They claim they want to have a win-win partnership with us, but Africa is never represented worldwide. So we need to fight for our recognition in this world and make people understand that Africa is a sovereign continent and we have the right to take decisions that we think is in our interest. And until we start fighting for that, we will not get anywhere, and not fight in speech, because these people are taking actions against us. So we need to also make sure we take action, and that is why Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso, ever since they tried to penetrate, they are not succeeding. With all the propaganda they've put across to the world, it's not helping them. We saw what they are doing there, destabilization here and there, yet they are not able to penetrate in Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso because of the love they have for their people, and they are genuinely fighting. They are not just coming out to tell us they are going to do this. Things are in the pipeline, like those in democratically elected countries always tell us. So we need to fight for ourselves, because freedom is taken and not given. If we are waiting for these people to finally say, Africa, okay, we are sorry for everything that we have done to you, and for that matter we are giving you freedom, it will never happen, because their daily bread also depends on the African. Everything of theirs depends on Africa. So we have to fight to protect the resources and make sure that everything that is here benefits us, and we don't have to sit there and wait for them to use our resources to do anything while we are just left out. All that the African is good for is consumption. No. We also have the brains, we have the capability and everything to make sure that we contribute to the world. And all the beautiful things that we are seeing in the world, the phones, videos, the 3D, and a lot of things that these people claim they have invented, all these things are coming from Africa. There are a lot of things that we have invented and they've claimed ownership. So we don't have to allow them to have this narrative that there is nothing that we can do. So it is we the Africans that can fight for a better Africa, and not in speech. And we can only do this when we are united as a people. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, in Africa, Southern Africa, and in South Africa.